Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back, it's Jordan here. Today we're going to be taking a detailed look at this new LEGO Lord of the Rings set. That's right, we're getting another Lord of the Rings set here in 2025. This is the Balrog Book Nook. It has 1,201 pieces and a suggested retail price of 130 US dollars, which converts to 150 Canadian dollars here in Canada. This set is going to be available starting on June 1st. Pretty exciting times, right? Maybe not as exciting as they could be. I don't think this particular set was executed properly. LEGO actually provided this set to me early to reveal and also review, so thank you so much, LEGO. The first thing that I had to do was actually double check the pricing structure for this. So it's 130 US dollars, 1,201 pieces, but the exchange rate is sort of in Canada's favor. Usually it's a lot more drastic, 150 Canadian dollars. That exchange rate is closer to like 38%, almost 40%. So yeah, there's something strange happening there. Now this is a Balrog Book Nook, which is sort of different. On the back of the box, you can see the Book Nook in action. Books on either side. That's sort of what this set is designed for, being amongst books. But you can also split the Balrog and the Gandalf apart and have them displayed just like that there. And of course you can display it opened or closed. It's 44 centimeters or 17.5 inches wide when it's open and 22 centimeters or 8.5 inches tall. Now there's actually an important note within the first few pages of the instruction manual here. So that's where I want to start my overview. There is a quote from Saruman. Then we can learn about Gandalf the Grey and his battle with Durin's Bane, sort of like the final battle for Gandalf the Grey. A creative adventure unfolds. Then we have notes from the design team right here. It says, for the first time ever in LEGO minifigure scale. So this is a Balrog that is designed to be minifigure scale. Now I think that's a really important notation because it indicates that the design team was given the task of designing Durin's Bane or a Balrog at minifigure scale. But do I think that this Book Nook is a good representation of that iconic scene from the Fellowship of the Ring? No, I think this is a terrible representation. However, it is designed to be a Book Nook. You're supposed to put books on either side and it's supposed to chill with all of your literature, which I get. So as a Book Nook, I think it is a good design, but it's not what I would think of if you were to say, we are going to design a Balrog Lego set. This isn't really what I would have in mind. So the first thing I ask myself when I see this set is, where are all the pieces? This thing is built using 1,201 pieces and it does not look that substantial. And that's because the majority of the pieces actually went into creating the structure for the Book Nook. And of course, the Book Nook itself, I think, was an incredible build. I think there's lots of interesting part usage in here, lots of different techniques, and there's just like a lot of detail within like the greebling of the Book Nook. It's really well constructed. It's cool. I also like the flames and the little spot to position your minifigure, but I just feel like it took so many parts to create this, and it just feels like a waste of an opportunity to create an epic Lord of the Rings set. Just a visual representation of that. This many pages were 6 bags were dedicated to building the Book Nook. And once again, I can't stress it enough. This is a really cool Book Nook. It was really well constructed. It was fun to put together. But I feel like it just uses the majority of the parts, which is just so strange to me. There is a really cool feature. We can actually remove this part right here, and that's where we have our Gandalf minifigure. The Gandalf the Grey found in this set is the same as the Gandalf the Grey found within the Shire set. However, he does not come with his cape, and of course he doesn't have his hat because he's not wearing it in the scene. He does come with that large sword, which is awesome. Also, he comes with his staff that has a telescope and the crystal on the end, or like the diamond element, to represent that like bright light that he's fighting Durin's Bane with. Also comes with this printed tile that has the famous quote, "You shall not pass Gandalf the Grey." And that is just mounted to the front of the stand so that it's presented on the Book Nook. If I remove his beard and hair, you can see some of the print detailing on the torso and on like his leg element there, and also on his face. I like this minifigure, but I feel like it was sort of lazy to reuse the same minifigure. It would have been nice if they made him look a little bit roughed up, because he is roughed up in this scene. He is not looking too good at all. He's exhausted from the Mines of Moria. And I feel like if they just added some additional print detailing, maybe to his torso and his leg element and also his face, just to make him look a little bit more exhausted, that'd be cool, because it would be exclusive to this set. So you build Gandalf and the Book Nook first, and then you're ready to take on the Balrog. It is pretty satisfying the way that that clips together. Pretty cool, hey? It's just done with the wedge plates down here, and also a triangular shaped tile. It's like the 1x2 with the 45-degree angle cut. Yeah, pretty cool. But then, once you're done building that, you move on to the actual Balrog figure, which once again was designed to be minifigure scale. First thing to note about the Balrog, or Durin's Bane, is the fact that his face is printed, so everything is printed in this set, which is nice. Also, his whip is a new recolor, so that's never been done in that orange color before. It's got a little claw on the end there, which is pretty cool. And look at the wings. The wings have only been found in one other set, and that is from the Fell Beast GWP. The only way that you could get this set was by buying the Barad-dûr set when it was originally released. So it's pretty cool that we're getting these vinyl wings on the Balrog. The Balrog character build is not very substantial. It's more so like a mech build. Like, it has all the different points of articulation within the hands and the shoulders, and you can see how he can grip onto his whip there with his hands that can slightly articulate there too, and then the ball joints for the legs and the feet. It's nothing crazy. It just reminds me of like a mech build, or like a buildable character build. There are some like colors here that are sort of off-putting, like these ball joints in the light gray color or dark gray color, so you can sort of see those. I do like his face. That is a nice printed element, and you can see his teeth. You can open up his mouth there to reveal his tongue. And the horns as well, which can articulate along with his head. And he's got the flames coming off the back there. And some more trans orange elements in the back as well. The wings were definitely an interesting build. This is pretty cool just because there's a lot of range of motion with them, because they have to fold up with the Book Nook. So you can see how they can actually move multiple ways. So they articulate on the back, and they also hinge forward like that. So that's pretty cool. But that's because it needs to fit within the Book Nook and articulate forward. And you're going to notice that there's two Technic axles on the back here. That's actually how you position him, so he's sort of floating and held in place within the Book Nook. So we grab our Book Nook, we open it up, then you see these two Technic elements in the back there. And you grab the Balrog and you position it so those axles just go within those Technic elements. And then you can position your Balrog how you want him, so he's like attacking Gandalf. You shall not pass, right? You can open up the wings just like that. There you go. And the neat thing about it is when you close it, the wings will just close with the Book Nook, all in one sort of swift action. And you can open it up, and there you go. So yeah, the Book Nook can be closed like that, so it's not going to take up very much space on your display or with your books. It's perfect if you want to display it with your books. If you use it as a Book Nook, it is perfect. That's what it's designed to be. And as such, I think it's great. Like, if you're looking for a Balrog Book Nook, well, there you go. You got what you were looking for. But how many of us were looking for a Balrog Book Nook? It's hard to say. I think a lot of us were looking for a detailed Balrog build or diorama of this iconic scene. But was the Book Nook route the proper route to take? In my opinion, I don't think it was the proper route to take. I just feel like a diorama or like a massive figure of the Balrog would have been the better route to take. You know what I mean by that? If we had a diorama with the Khazad-dûm bridge, which is sort of like an arched bridge, and then you had this character standing on the bridge and you had Gandalf there, you shall not pass, and it was more of like a diorama rather than a Book Nook, I think that would have been a better option. And all they had to do was reallocate the pieces that the Book Nook frame took to a diorama like that, and I think it would be a lot more appealing to a lot more collectors. In my opinion, though. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm way out in left field here, but I feel like that would have been better. Or what they could have done is said, you know what, we're not going to go minifig scale. We're going to go a larger scale, like the large Bowser, and we're going to make an epic, giant buildable character using all 1,201 pieces, maybe a little bit more to build a giant Balrog figure, rather than building a Book Nook. And you've probably heard me say over the last while, I think they should make smaller Lord of the Rings sets. And I think a lot of people have had that in mind as well. I can't really classify this set here as a smaller Lord of the Rings set. It is still pretty substantial, so it does demand a little bit of display room. And the piece count and price is pretty high. Maybe what they could have done is just given us this mech-style Balrog with the Gandalf minifigure on its own, and price it at like $50 or $60 or something like that, and just scrap this. Even though this does represent the scene, because when they first see the Balrog, they're in like that grand hall or great hall with all the pillars, and then they go to the bridge, and that's where Gandalf smashes the bridge and says, "You shall not pass." So this still does represent the scene, but when I think of the scene, "You shall not pass," I just see that iconic bridge. Fly, you fools. Either way, there we have it. Let me know what you think by commenting below. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Have a great day.